Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're really plunging into some profound wisdom. It's from the Anguttara Nikaya, an ancient collection of Buddhist discourses.
That's right.
And you've brought us, well, a real treasure trove of insights here.
Hmm.
We're focusing on powerful themes like self-awareness, personal growth, and how to navigate life's challenges.
Hmm.
Our mission for you today is to cut through all that, the centuries, really, and distill the most potent, actionable nuggets of wisdom, giving you a shortcut, hopefully, to understanding these timeless teachings.
Absolutely. And these texts, despite their age, they offer surprisingly practical guidance, really for anyone looking to understand their own mind and, build a more fulfilling life.
Right.
We'll definitely explore recurring ideas like the essential practice of self-reflection, what truly causes us to sort of decline or progress, and some very concrete ways to cultivate beneficial mental states.
Okay, let's dive in then. Let's start with this foundational idea that seems to echo across many of these texts, the huge importance of knowing your own mind, above all else, really.
Mm-hmm.
What's the core insight we should take away from this focus on, well, internal observation?
Well, what's fascinating here is the metaphor they use. It's quite vivid. Checking your own facial features, as they put it, in a clean mirror, or maybe clear, still water.
Okay.
And just as you immediately try to remove any dirt or blemish you see.
Right, instinctively.
Exactly. These teachings urge you to diligently observe your own mind with that same kind of care.
So it's like becoming your own honest observer.
Precisely.
Yeah.
An honest observer.
So if we're looking into this inner mirror, what are these blemishes we're supposed to be looking for, and why is it so vital to spot them?
You're basically scanning for specific states, or blemishes, as the texts call them. Things like greed, ill will, maybe sloth and torpor.
The heaviness, yeah.
Right.
Right.
Or restlessness, doubt, anger, mental defilement, agitation, laziness, or, their opposites too, the good stuff.
Okay.
The goal is simply to see which states tend to predominate in your daily life. Just notice the patterns.
And here's where it gets really interesting for me, the urgency.
Yes.
If you find these unwholesome states, the texts say you should strive to abandon them with the same intensity as if your clothes or your head were actually on fire.
It's a powerful image, isn't it?
It really is. That's a pretty strong call to action for us. Why such urgency?
Well, it raises that important question. Why the fire? It's because these unwholesome states are seen as directly detrimental to growth. They hold you back.
Okay.
And the Hiti Sutta clarifies this further. It distinguishes between decline, or hani, stagnation, ahiti, and growth, vuddhi, in these wholesome qualities, things like faith, virtue, learning, generosity, wisdom.
And stagnation isn't praised, right? Only growth.
Exactly. Merely staying put, treading water, isn't seen as progress.
Yeah.
Only growth is really valued on this path.
And the Samatha Sutta connects this self-reflection to deeper practices too, doesn't it? It talks about tranquility, samatha, and insight, vipassana.
Yes. It highlights how this continuous self-assessment helps you figure out if you are actually attaining tranquility and insight.
Like a diagnostic tool.
Kind of, yeah. If you find you're lacking one, well, you should exert intense effort to gain it, building on whatever you do already have. It shows a very holistic approach to inner development. It's not just one thing.
So what does this all mean for us then? It's really about taking an honest inventory, like you said, of our inner landscape, and then actively working on improving it, not just sort of staying put.
Yes, actively and, as the texts suggest, quite urgently.
Okay, so we've established the importance of looking within. But these texts, they go deeper, explaining how our internal states are connected to, well, everything else. The Mulaka Sutta, for instance, talks about what all phenomena are rooted in.
This is a crucial insight, really fundamental.
What does it mean practically?
It states that basically all phenomena, everything we experience, are rooted in desire, or chanda.
Yeah.
They arise from attention, manasikara, have contact, phassa as their origin.
Okay.
They converge in feeling. Vedana are headed by concentration, samadhi, have mindfulness, sati as their sovereign.
Wow, quite a list.
It is. Supreme in wisdom, panya, have liberation, vimutisara as their essence, are immersed in the deathless amatagata, and ultimately they culminate in nibbana.
It's like a whole map.
It is a roadmap of interdependence showing how it all fits together.
And the Avijja and Taika Suttas, they really lay out the chain reactions, don't they? Both the positive and negative ones, using that vivid analogy.
Right, the mountain analogy. Rain falling on a mountain, filling streams, then rivers, and finally the ocean.
Yeah.
It shows how ignorance, avijja, and craving for existence, pavata, they aren't uncaused. They don't just appear out of nowhere.
So there's a sequence.
There's a whole chain of decline. It starts with things like bad company,
Interesting starting point.
which leads to not listening to good teachings, which then causes a lack of faith, then wrong attention, lack of mindfulness, lack of sense restraint, then unwholesome actions, body, speech, mind, and finally you get the 5 hindrances, culminating in that deep ignorance and craving.
So if you're feeling stuck or like you keep making bad choices, these texts are basically saying, look upstream. Look at those earlier things.
Exactly. Look upstream at these foundational elements. Who are you hanging out with? What are you paying attention to?
Make sense?
And conversely, the path to knowledge and liberation, Vijavamuti, is the mirror image. It's the positive chain reaction.
So good company.
Good company, listening to good teachings, building faith, proper attention, mindfulness, sense restraint, wholesome conduct. That leads to the 4 foundations of mindfulness, the 7 factors of awakening, and ultimately knowledge and liberation.
It really emphasizes that our choices, even seemingly small ones like who we talk to or what we focus on, have these massive downstream effects.
Huge effects, yes?
Now, the Attama Sutta also talks about obstacles and nourishments for things we might desire, like wealth, health, friends, wisdom. More practical stuff.
Very practical. It outlines 10 desirable things most people want, and then, crucially, 10 obstacles to getting or keeping them. Things like laziness, lack of care for how you present yourself, unwholesome actions, bad friends again,
There it is again.
lack of sense restraint, dishonesty, not studying, not asking questions, not reflecting on the teachings, wrong practice. It's quite comprehensive.
But it gives the flip side, too.
Yes, and importantly, it lists the corresponding nourishments, basically the opposite qualities for each one. So it provides very concrete, actionable advice. Do this, not that.
It's clear these ancient texts aren't just about, abstract meditation. They really dive into everyday ethical choices and their impact. The Kammapogi Sutta, for example, looks at how we acquire and use wealth.
Yeah, this is highly relevant, isn't it? Even today.
Absolutely.
It classifies individuals based on how they earn wealth, like unrighteously with force or maybe mixed methods or righteously without force.
Okay.
And then it looks at how they use it. Do they not use it for themselves or others? Do they use it just for themselves? Or do they use it for themselves, share it, and make merit?
And what's the ideal?
The highest is earning righteously and using that wealth to benefit yourself, share with others, and make merit all without clinging to it or just seeing the pleasure it brings.
So it's really not just what you have,
Yeah.
but how you get it
Exactly.
and what you do with it that defines your character, according to this text.
Precisely. Your relationship with wealth. And the Baya Sutta links abstaining from common misdeeds, the big ones. Killing, stealing, sexual misconduct, lying, intoxicants.
The 5 precepts, essentially.
Right. It links abstaining from those to eliminating 5 immediate and future fears or dangers. This is incredibly practical wisdom for just living day to day.
Brings peace of mind.
It does. And then it connects this basic ethical conduct to the 4 factors of stream entry. Things like unwavering faith in the Buddha, his teachings, the community, plus that unbroken virtue. These become the foundation for a liberated path.
We've also seen texts that show the opposite side, like what not to do or what causes decline.
Yes. The Taiyotama Sutta describes this kind of cascading chain of negative qualities that prevent someone from overcoming suffering, birth, aging, death.
How does that chain work?
It starts with subtle things, really, like disregard for others, stubbornness, bad company again.
Seems central.
It really does, which then enabled deeper issues, lack of faith, laziness, spiritual forgetfulness, delusion, eventually leading to clinging, craving, aversion, and ignorance.
But the good news is...
The good news is if you eliminate those initial subtle flaws, the disregard, the stubbornness, the whole chain can unravel, potentially leading towards liberation.
It's like a spiritual domino effect, isn't it? Both positive and negative.
It really is. And the Kakasutta even uses the analogy of a crow.
A crow.
Yeah, a crow to describe a bad monastic, someone not living up to the ideals, destructive, bold in a bad way, noisy, greedy, cruel, weak in virtue, loud, forgetful, hoarding things.
Wow, it's blunt.
It's a vivid, pretty unflattering portrait of qualities to avoid, doesn't mince words.
And finally, in this section, the Agattavatu and Agattabayavinaya suttas deal with something we all struggle with. Resentment, holding grudges.
Very relatable.
What's the approach there?
These are very specific. They list 10 grounds for resentment. They harmed me, they are harming me, they harmed someone I love, or even they benefited someone I dislike.
Oh, that's interesting.
Or sometimes just random anger bubbling up, and then it gives 10 ways to overcome it.
What's the main technique?
Primarily, it's by realizing this can't be obtained, which sort of implies letting go of the expectation that you can control past actions or future actions or other people's behavior.
So acceptance.
A kind of radical acceptance, yeah.
Oh, you're right.
And ultimately focusing on not getting angry without a real justifiable cause. It's a powerful lesson in emotional regulation.
Okay, we've looked at the negative chains, the pitfalls. Now let's look at the qualities that do lead to growth and liberation. Several suttas in the Theravada section seem to address this directly.
Right. The Bahuna Sutta, for example, describes the liberated one, the Tathagata, as unbound. Unbound from all these aspects of existence: form, feeling, perception, mental formations, consciousness, even birth, aging, death, sorrow, defilements.
Unbound. How do they illustrate that?
The analogy here is that beautiful image of a lotus flower.
Ah, yes.
It's born in water, it grows up in the water, but it rises to stand above the water, completely untainted by it.
So it's about detachment, not necessarily avoiding life.
Exactly. It illustrates detachment, transcendence, not running away from the world. It's a deep inner freedom within the world. This is presented as the ultimate goal.
And the Ananda Sutta gives us a pretty clear list, almost like a checklist for us learners, of what hinders or helps spiritual progress.
Indeed, it's very straightforward. It states clearly that growth in the teachings is impossible without certain qualities.
Such as?
Well, things like faith, virtue, extensive learning, being open to correction. That's a big one. Good companionship again.
There it is again.
Persistent effort, mindfulness, contentment, having few desires, and possessing right view. These are presented as the 10 essential qualities that lead to really thriving.
What about those who might, claim they've attained spiritual heights but maybe haven't? Do the texts address that?
Oh, yes. The Bhikkharen, Kati, and Adamana Suttas tackle this directly. They describe how a truly accomplished practitioner like a Buddha or one of their direct disciples can actually discern false claims by observing the claimant's underlying qualities, not just their words. If someone claims high attainments but you see they're still prone to anger, ill will, hypocrisy, jealousy, stinginess, deceit, or, spiritual forgetfulness.
Actions speak louder than words.
Essentially, yes. It indicates a lack of genuine progress. It's not about the fancy words, it's about real transformation of character.
That makes me think of the Adikarnika Sutta, which lists qualities that make someone, undesirable within a community, contrasting them with those that foster unity and respect.
Yes, it boils down to character again. Someone who is contentious, unwilling to train, driven by desires, angry, hypocritical, deceitful, maybe not a good listener, avoids solitude, isn't hospitable.
Sounds like a difficult person.
Right. Such an individual, the text says, will not earn respect, regardless of their wishes. It uses the analogy of a bad horse its true nature eventually shows.
Yeah, the good qualities.
Conversely, the opposite qualities being agreeable, willing to learn, content, honest, a good listener, these naturally lead to respect and progress, often even if the person isn't actively seeking it. Your character shines through.
And the Kokalika Sutta serves as a rather stark warning, doesn't it? About the consequences of slander.
It's quite a sobering story. It illustrates the severe karmic consequences of denigrating noble individuals. This monk, Kokalika, he slandered Sariputta and Moggallana, two chief disciples.
And what happened?
According to the text, he suffered a terrible, painful illness, and after death was reborn in a specific hell realm. And the duration is described with this incredibly vivid analogy.
The sesame seeds.
Yes, emptying a huge container of sesame seeds, taking out just one seed every 100 years. It takes an unimaginably long time.
Wow.
It powerfully underscores the danger, the sheer weight of speaking ill of others, particularly those recognized for their virtue, a strong caution about speech.
So, bringing the section together, what truly defines a liberated person? An arahant. The Kodasavabala Sutta gives us their powers.
Yes, the 10 powers of an arahant. And these aren't mystical powers in the usual sense, but profound inner strengths derived from complete understanding and freedom.
What are they like?
They include things like seeing all formations, all conditioned things as impermanent, seeing desires like a pit of hot coals, something you don't want to fall into. Their mind is naturally inclined towards seclusion, towards peace, and crucially, they've fully cultivated all the key aspects of the path. The 4 foundations of mindfulness, the 4 right efforts, the 4 bases of spiritual power, the 5 faculties, the 5 powers, the 7 factors of awakening, and the noble 8-fold path.
So it's the combination of the entire practice.
Yeah. Exactly. It's mastery, deep realization, and mastery of the mind and the path itself.
Wow. What an incredible deep dive into these ancient teachings.
Mm-hmm.
Really from the urgency of self-reflection in that clear mirror
Mm-hmm.
to understanding these cascading effects of our choices, we've seen how these texts provide a pretty comprehensive guide to inner mastery.
It really emphasizes that genuine, lasting progress isn't about external performance or, just making claims.
Right.
It's about cultivating specific internal qualities, diligence, mindfulness, honesty, and diligently, mindfully abandoning their opposites. It's a continuous process.
Yeah, a mindful, ongoing process. It
Exactly.
really makes you wonder, doesn't it, as we wrap up here, if we applied this level of self-scrutiny, this kind of diligent effort to even just one of these areas we talked about,
Mm-hmm.
like maybe really working on abandoning resentment or actively cultivating good companionship,
Hmm.
how dramatically might our lives and maybe the lives of those around us actually transform?
That's a powerful thought to leave with. What difference could focusing on just one of these make? A lot to reflect on there.